You're tuned into Sports from the Hoodwood, the internet's foremost location for no-nonsense commentary, insight, and opinions on the world of sports. Here, now live in living color, backed by popular demand. Your host, KJ Green.
As we continue on in the Hoodwood, I thank you so much for your participation and listening to the show. Now, the day after the All-Star game is usually the deadest day on the sports calendar. I mean, there's only one MLS game on the schedule Wednesday, and ESPN was so desperate for extra programming, they showed my beloved FC Cincinnati in a regular season game. They won 2-0 over Charlotte, strengthened their Eastern Conference lead. But I predicted that the NBA or the NFL would wait till this super slow day to make a major announcement or trade. And sure as the bandit is black, true to form, the Spurs and the Raptors dropped a blockbuster trade. And also in the NFL, Leveon Bell decided he was not going to sign a long-term deal with the Steelers. Looking at the NBA situation first, Kawhi Leonard is now headed for Toronto for DeMar DeRozan in what many people consider a blockbuster trade. Also included in the trade going to Toronto was Danny Green, no relation. Also headed to San Antonio was Jakob Poeltl and a protected 2019 draft pick. Now, Kawhi, for his part, has said through sources that he wants no part of this trade and has hinted that he might just sit out the season. Why? Please, somebody tell me why. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I liked Kawhi Leonard. I thought he was an unselfish, low-key, almost to the point of recalcitrant type of player who let his play on the court speak volumes. But he only played 9 games in the 2017-18 season due to various injuries, beefs with the San Antonio Spurs, and it's led to a messy divorce and now trade. But now he's going to Toronto. Toronto won 59 games last year. 59. Yes, I know. They got swept unceremoniously out of the playoffs by the Cavaliers. Toronto about finna get swept. Sorry, I just had to go back to that one. They got swept. Dwayne Casey got fired, even though he won NBA Coach of the Year. And Detroit is trying to he got picked up by Detroit. But Toronto is trying to pick up the pieces. Trading straight up DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard probably is one of the dumbest moves that the Raptors could make. And it reeks of panic. This team is panicking. Now, you have a good young core with Kyle Lowry. And Lowry and DeRozan seem to play well off of one another. Yes, they had problems in the playoffs. I know. But I think trading for what is tantamount to a one-year rental is stupid and short-sighted. Add to the fact that Kawhi Leonard doesn't seem to want to go to Toronto or anywhere east or anywhere warm or anything doesn't have a 900 zip code in it. Now, I give Toronto its credit. Its fan base is doggedly loyal and starved for a winner. But Leonard is coming off more and more like a petulant, spoiled brat who can't get his way and doesn't want to play anywhere but SoCal, where he alone is the man. He seems like he doesn't want to go to the Lakers, where he might have to play second fiddle to LeBron James, but he wants to go to SoCal. Kawhi Leonard has said nothing to the effect. He hasn't talked to the press. He hasn't released anything so much as a press release. But his intermediaries seem to have hinted that Kawhi Leonard wants no part of this trade and does not want to play for Toronto. If you look at the way that the Raptors are trying to go all in, the Eastern Conference is fairly ripe for the picking. Yes, Philly's on the come up, but Boston I still think is a team to beat. Cleveland, of course, is not going to be a factor, even though they're defending the Eastern Conference champions 4 times running. but they're not going to be a factor. If you think Kevin Love can carry that team, I'll show you some of his Minnesota Timberwolves tapes. Cleveland is done. But for all intents and purposes, Toronto more or less has shot itself in the foot. Now, we also turn to another recalcitrant player, that in Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell has been franchised by the Pittsburgh Steelers. This will be his third time being franchised. They can't do it anymore after this year. They have to offer him a long-term deal. They've tried to negotiate a long-term deal with Le'Veon Bell to the tune of $70 million. $70 million. You think about the money that they're willing to pay Le'Veon Bell to be the centerpiece of their offense. Ben Roethlisberger ain't getting no younger. And yes, Antonio Brown is a marquee wide receiver, but Le'Veon Bell wants wide receiver money. Running backs don't get wide receiver money, not no more. Running backs get running back money because they're dispensable. Running backs are a dime a dozen. Look at DeMarco Murray. He led the Cowboys in rushing 4 years ago. He retired from football just this past year. Now I know running backs take an inordinate amount of pounding. And Le'Veon Bell, who is one of the top, if not the top running back in the NFL, wants big money. He wants serious big money. But the market will not bear him getting that kind of money. $70 million ain't chump change. It ain't what the brothers call piss away money. They are willing to give him a good amount of money. What more does Le'Veon Bell want? Now, we all know what the drill is going to be. Le'Veon Bell is not going to report to training camp. Le'Veon Bell won't play in any of the preseason games. Le'Veon Bell will show up at probably the fourth week of training camp. Maybe get a little bit of action in the final preseason game. And then go out in week 1, 2, and 3 to knock the rust off. And then maybe he'll have an outstanding season. If he does, he's banking on himself to have another monster season to cash that in. But the problem is any future suitor will see him as a running back that still has another year of mileage on his legs. Are they going to be willing to pay big money for a running back who has another year of mileage on his legs? Father Time is unbeaten in the sports field. And Father Time is not kind to running backs. Will Le'Veon Bell get the kind of crazy, stupid money that wide receivers get? He's not going to get quarterback money. You're not going to see him get something like stupid like Kirk Cousins got in Minnesota. He's a running back. Running backs are a dime a dozen. You can look at both Kawhi Leonard and Le'Veon Bell as players who are trying to strike the iron while it's hot, maximizing their earning potential. But you also have to wonder, will the gambles and holdouts ultimately backfire on them and cost them untold millions of dollars down the road? Take another time out, come back with a look at the World Cup finale wrap-up along with Fat Dap Head Slap. Stay close.